manner. And at the same time, you're looking at their diet, and processed food is killing people.
Mhm.
That's, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is the
Yeah.
biggest
It's a real pandemic for me.
yes, but this is it. It's the biggest undiagnosed issue of all, because sugar, however we
Mhm.
look at it, in its processed forms, especially glucose and fructose syrup, is going to hit your liver so hard that you raise your possibility of diabetes exponentially year on year, that you take this substance. And I'm not speaking to people as a monk,
Yes.
exempt from all this, down to people. I'm part of this as well, and I know that if I expose myself to toxins, my inflammation goes up in my body, my pain goes up equivalently. So somebody comes in, they're in pain, let's say they've got shoulder pain, terrible, so let's say frozen shoulder, something like this, that they're in a bad way, okay, psychologically, emotionally as well. They can't sleep. If you control their diet and their internal inflammation, the inflammation goes relatively down from 8 to a 4, suddenly they can get working on it. So they can fix it themselves. So you might not even have to touch the issue, which is why an electronic appointment like this, an e-appointment, is really worthwhile for people potentially. So that's the job, to use all of these different moving parts to get people as proactively as possible preventing the issue. And if you know you're going to go out, let's say you're going to go to an Italian, why not? Great, fantastic. Or you're going to go and have a Chinese with loads of rice and bits and pieces in there, then you probably want to take some liver supports as well. So I'm not saying this for everybody, because you need to look at their medical notes, but let's say some apple cider vinegar, or there's a product called Epivan, which is produced in Italy, and that's a really good natural liver support, bio PQQ and coenzyme Q10, for example. And obviously check with your doctors first, I'm required to say, but look into these, because these supplements can have a massive difference. So you can go and enjoy life, and then potentially mitigate the damage. And acupuncture similarly. You can tonify your liver and your gallbladder to be able to deal with the sugars when they come through, with the lactose, if you're lactose intolerant, so that you can enjoy your life. Or you can maximize your training. It doesn't matter whether you ascribe to Eastern ancient philosophies or not. I come from a very empirical science background, and it doesn't matter what you call it. At the end of the day, anyone who questions the terminology is deflecting from the argument of its efficacy. At the end of the day, all you're interested in at the end of the day is the individual in a better position beforehand than after? It is as simple as the equation as that. It doesn't matter whether we call it, let's say, lower back issues, kidney insufficiency, damaging your back, depleting your yin, so that you're going to die early. Who wouldn't want to avoid that, in the Chinese medicine approach, versus in the Western medicine approach, you've damaged your kidneys, the kidneys aren't performing well, you're ending up potentially on dialysis later in life. And by the way, it's all avoidable if you work through and you improve the connections with the phoenix nerve in the base of your back through massage. And simple things like this you can do to reverse the damage that happens internally. It doesn't matter what you call this, it's all the same. But people are not getting this information.